Editor's note. This piece about the Friends reunion gives away things that happen on the Friends reunion. Be warned. Well, there it is. The one with the nostalgia, sort of. Originally, nostalgia was understood to be a weighted and sad feeling, a disorder, even, a disruptive and painful longing for home. It came from the same root as pain-related words like fibromyalgia and analgesic. It wasn't quite the same thing as reminiscing with your college friends or telling funny stories about your kids when they were growing up. And it definitely wasn't the same thing as a clip show. What's funny about the delayed Friends reunion special, which is now available on HBO Max after a year of COVID delays, is that it flirts with the emotionally satisfying definition of nostalgia. 6 actors. You probably know the ones if you're reading this far. Courteney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, David Schwimmer, return to talk about the show that made them all enormous stars, at least for the span of time between the fall of 1994 and the spring of 2004. Their fates since then have diverged significantly. It's not just easy to approach this reunion with a note of cynicism, it's almost obligatory. For all the hugging and all the crying, The Hollywood Reporter has clocked the paycheck each of the 6 actors landed for making the special at an eye-popping $2.5 million to $3 million. And it's not that without the money they would have gathered anyway, but in private. No, they say in the special that they haven't all been together in a room. Except for once, circumstances unspecified, since the end of the show. These are people who weep and embrace and got paid a collective $15 million, at least, to spend this precious time together. We see them wander, one by one, onto a recreation of their set, which, no, has not been sitting and waiting for them for the past 17 years. It seems to genuinely make them emotional, both because they don't see each other that much and because places tend to provoke feelings. LeBlanc remembers Cox writing lines on the table. Perry and LeBlanc sit in their Chandler-and-Joey recliners. Kudrow and Schwimmer talk about a wooden post in Rachel and Monica's living room that was part of the original set but was removed because it got in the way of shooting. They visit the dressing rooms where they all note that they all ate meals together for the first few years. They don't discuss why they did not all eat together thereafter. There is a sadness that creeps in around the edges of these segments, in part for the simple reason that this was 17 years ago. Well, it ended 17 years ago. It began 27 years ago. It's been over for almost twice as long as it lasted. There's no reason to believe they would all define this as the best period of their lives, but it's certainly, for all of them, the most commercial success they ever achieved, as it would be for nearly anyone with any resume.